that these Cardinals play tough defensively. And last week, same thing. When we had the JB Long on of the Rams, we brought back some sound with Coach McVay saying the same thing. So it's out there that this Cardinal defense is good, but we all know how bad the offense is. Well, joining us next to talk some Seahawks, former Sun Devil great and a former safety for the Devils, and now I've been doing some pre and half post for the Seahawks radio network. It's always nice enough to join us is Paul Moyer. Paul Rocky Manuch, man, how are you this Friday?
How we doing, Paul?
I am doing well. Thanks, as always, for having me on. Matter of fact, I'm waiting for the Sun Devils to land and go head over to the team hotel and say hi to some old friends. So be a big weekend. We got ASU and the Cardinals same weekend. Go figure.
So will they bring you out, make you wave, and be on? Are you gonna be like a USC sideline guy? You know, like USC brings all those guys on the sideline.
Yeah, I wish. I'm going to have to talk with Kenny and say, do I get sideline passes? Kevin Turner, who I played with, does some ASU broadcast. He and I are really good friends. So he's already at the hotel, and I'm going to go meet them here in about an hour. So more just catch up, and I'll probably go to the game. But at my age, man, I don't stick around long for those things. I like watching them on the couch.
When you see Kevin, he was on our program. He's on our program on Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. And he made a bet that he was going to buy tequila for everybody in Phoenix if they go up there and they win. So see if he's okay with that bet still. All right. He literally said it on our show.
I think Kevin does pretty well on his real job, but I don't know if he can afford everybody in Phoenix. It's grown quite a bit. So, but I'll remind him, if he just buys me some tequila tonight, I'll be happy.
There you go. There you go.
Well, you look at the Seahawks team, and we were just looking at the depth chart here, Paul, and you see, I think everybody and their mother that's questionable on the offensive side, and looks like things are going to be okay. But I don't know if I've ever seen a Q next to just about every starter, aside from maybe the quarterback and one of the receivers going into this game. Now, it sounds like everybody's going to play, but is this a banged-up offense right now?
Yeah, I just saw Pete's press conference, and he said, look, Sunday morning is going to be very interesting. There's a lot of game-time decisions. And, all five of those starting offensive lineman got the Q on there. You could almost even throw Geno Smith in there. I mean, a few weeks ago, he had a banged up knee also. Questionable most likely means most of them will play.
Sure.
But we're pretty deep. I mean, when I say that, it's not like you can lose that many starters, but it's a pretty deep team on both sides of the ball. And so if you lose a guy or two, I mean, they manage it pretty well. But they need to get healthy to play at their best, obviously.
And you look at your defense, and there's not one Q there, Paul. I mean, and that's been really, I think, the noticeable difference in you guys. I don't know if that's Bobby Wagner's back in charge of that defense or what, but they look like they are, I don't know, a different gear. What happened in the offseason to get them back to maybe quasi, where the Seattle team was a few years ago?
Yeah, I think some of it's Bobby. I mean, look, when we brought Bobby back at first, I was like, that's not the answer. We actually need to get younger and faster and tougher. And Bobby's a seasoned veteran. He still runs pretty well. He's lost a little bit of his, lateral quickness. He's not a thumper, but he's a good tackler. He's a decent guy in coverage. But man, I tell you what, this is some of the best football I've seen him play in the last 2 years. The 2 years previous, he got voted from the Pro Bowl to me because he was well known. It wasn't because I thought he played at a high level, but he's playing pretty well. And Jordan Brooks, I think, is even playing at a higher level. But I think what they did is they changed their defensive front. And what they decided is, we're not going to be as big, but we're going to be a lot quicker. And, Draymond Jones, they play him at nose sometime. That's an undersized nose. But he captures attention. And then you throw Jaron Reed in there, same thing, a bit undersized, but we're so much quicker. And you have to account for that. And then I think we've got speed on the edges. I think our front seven's playing fantastic. In this young secondary, particularly our corners, we have 3 really talented corners. They're getting better every game. So we match up really well. If you go and watch that game last week against Cincinnati, man, we were all over Chase.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter. All 3 of them, Woolen to Witherspoon to Trey Brown, had no problem running with them, and that was an eye-opener for me. So I just think it's we just changed, and we're playing pretty good defense right now.
And how much of an influence is Pete with that defense each and every week? I know you got your DC there, but how much of the fingerprints are on that defense?
It's always his philosophy, but it's changed so much. We're not really a 3D, zone defense team anymore. I think we play a lot more man-to-man now. We do a bit of a kind of, I don't want to say even a quarter half, but we'll play half to one side. If there's a receiver we really like, we'll man up on the other side. But I know one thing, his philosophy is stop the run, and that's been our issue the last couple of years, particularly. And they're doing an incredible job. I think they're either 1 or 2 or 3 in yards per attempt. I mean, hadn't been a lot of long runs against the Seahawks this year. So its fingerprint's always on there. It becomes a bigger fingerprint if they're struggling. And they're early in the season, we had some breakdowns, and Pete said, I've got to help our coaches be successful. And so, but he's more of a hands-off guy. It's more of just, hey, believe in you guys. Here's our philosophy, and let's stay with it.
It's interesting. You hear the philosophy of what Pete wants to see on defense. Obviously, on offense, pound the ball by running it, and it looks as though Walker and Charbonnet are doing a good job that way. But Paul, when you look at Geno and you look at Lockett, another fine K-State Wildcat, had to get that in there, and then DK Metcalf and Font. I mean, you guys have got a good receiving core, a good passing game. But it seems as though Pete wants to somewhat put the governor on that just a little bit. Do I read that correctly?
Well, I think he would. Look, if he could run it 45 times that game, he would.
Sure.
But he also knows that's not what the NFL allows. The rules say throw the football, and you got to take advantage of that. But, let's say we're 60-40 at times, 70-30. The philosophy is go in, establish the run, play action when you can. But he doesn't have a problem us throwing it. He doesn't want to be airing it out deep all day long.
Sure.
He wants calculated pieces to that. So we are gifted. We did a show last night, and we were saying if the trade deadline was this week, what position or player would you really want to trade or try to upgrade on? And we said not many. There's not many guys out there that would truly, move us to the next level. Maybe another offensive lineman, because I don't know when we're going to get our right tackle back. It may be another month or so. So, maybe that would be one position. But we're pretty young. We're pretty deep. We just got to keep getting better. We're not a great team yet. But we're a team that you got to work really hard to beat the Seahawks. And at the same time, last week against Cincinnati, a team, honestly, I think we beat 8 out of 10 times. I really felt we dominated on both sides of the football. But you know what? You got to score in this league, particularly in the red zone. So those are things they just, they're still learning.
Paul, enjoy the Sun Devil and Cardinal fans in your backyard. Appreciate you coming on today.
Man, appreciate you guys having me as always, man. I really do. And go Sun Devils, man. I'm pulling for that big turnaround